All aboard the English train. All aboard, everyone. Yes, we are back together once more. Welcome, yes, we are back. It is October and yes, we are live right now across YouTube. It is English Addict, as live can be. I hope you are feeling good today. Yes, we are back, everyone. Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy on this Sunday? I hope you are feeling very happy because we are back, yes, after having a little break during September. And can I just say I had a lovely rest, a very nice rest. I did do a little bit of work. I made some English video lessons, a couple during the month of September, but we are back once again. Yes, English Addict is the name of the game. For those who don't know what this is, perhaps you have just found me by accident and you don't know what this is. Well, I will let you in on the secret. I teach English, I talk about the English language, I do it quite often here on YouTube, and also I've been doing it for a very long time as well. Many years, in fact. This month it will be my 14th anniversary, 14 years I've been doing this here on YouTube. Can you believe it? A lot of people don't believe me when I say it. But I have been here doing this on YouTube for almost 14 years. On the 31st of October, it will be my 14th anniversary. Always a very exciting time, always an air of excitement in the air because it will be 14 years since I started doing this. Of course, I haven't been live streaming for 14 years because the technology wasn't around. In 2006, there was no high definition, there was no live chat, there was no live streaming even. But I am now here live again. Yes, I hope you've missed me. Have you missed me? That is the big question. I suppose I should start with, have you actually missed me here on YouTube? Has it been strange? What have you been doing during the month of September? We will be having a little bit of a catch-up. So all of the news, if something has happened where you are, something nice, maybe something not so nice, please let us know on the live chat. Yes, we do have the live chat. It is now working. I am just checking to make sure that everything is working okay. You know what it's like sometimes. You know what it's like on YouTube, especially at the moment because there are lots of changes taking place right here on this platform, including how the live stream is operated, how it is set up, how it actually is broadcast through YouTube. So all of that has changed during September. Yesterday afternoon, I spent a very long time trying to work out how to operate the new live stream system here on YouTube because it's changed, you see. Everything is now different. So all of that has now changed. Yesterday afternoon I spent many hours getting slightly frustrated. I will be honest with you, I did get a little bit frustrated because I was having difficulty getting my live stream to work. But it looks as if we are here. One thing I want to check whilst I'm looking at my equipment, I want to make sure that we have live captions. I have a feeling that there are no live captions. So this is one of the things that I was hoping YouTube would continue doing. But there are no live captions, I'm afraid. It is not my fault. I have been in touch with YouTube to ask them why they have changed the live captions. So you might notice that there are no live captions. I'm very sorry about that. It is out of my control. I would love to have them here right now, but sadly there are no live captions, and it is all because YouTube have updated the way in which the live streams are broadcast. Everything looks very different. And that's the reason why I was literally pulling my hair out. So whatever hair I had left, it has now gone because I was pulling my hair out. If you pull your hair out, it means you are very frustrated about something. Something is making you feel so frustrated, you start pulling your hair out. So it is a great expression. That's what I was doing yesterday, trying to get my live captions working. So I'm sorry about that. Please don't complain, because it's out of my control. I cannot control that. I wish I could, because I would put it right. Hello to the live chat. Oh, we have Mosen here. Hello, Mosen. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. We are back. It is like a large family reunion. A large reunion. People coming together once more, saying, hello, buddy. Hello, friend. I haven't seen you for a long time. It has been around 5 weeks since I last did my live streams. So I've had a lovely break. Lots of things going on here. Mr. Steve has been very busy. Yes, don't worry. Steve will be with us as well a little bit later on. So we have Mr. Steve back. And if there are some friends that you know who don't realise that my live streams have resumed, please can you tell them so they know. Hello, Mosen. Hello, Vitas. Nice to see you back as well. Also, Valentin, Beatrice, Elias, also Barong, Nessar. Hello, Zoe. Hello also, Luis Mendez. Hello, Luis. Luis Mendez, thank you very much for your lovely emails yesterday as well. Also, Wafe Zudzika is here. Lots of very familiar names on the live chat. Great to see you all back. What about you, though? Can you please give me some news from where you are? What has been happening in your life during the month of September? There were some things going around, people saying some things about me. They thought maybe I had become ill. No, I haven't become ill. Nothing like that. Nothing has happened. You know what I'm talking about. We all know what I'm talking about. Nothing like that. So you will be pleased to hear that I haven't been ill. I haven't been unwell. I have decided, or I had decided, to take a little break during September. But don't worry, because we are back again. One big change, of course, something I should mention straight away. The live streams will be once a week for October. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Duncan. That does not seem very fair. But I will be with you on Sunday, every Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. So during October, one live stream, but there will be some new lessons as well. You see? Can you see what I'm doing? So I'm keeping very busy. one live stream, but also I will be making some new English lessons as well during October. And then at the end of the month, of course, we have the big celebration, 14 years. Can you believe it? So here we are all together again. I hope you are having a good day. Yes, we have made it. Not only to the end of the week, but also we have made it to the end of September, and now we are into October. Yes, it's Sunday. I will keep the message on the screen just to let you know that I will be with you once a week. Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time is when you can catch me. The garden behind me, you might notice, it isn't very bright today. We've had a lot of rain over the past few days. The last 24 hours, in fact, maybe slightly longer than that, it has been raining non-stop. We've had so much rain. Just to prove it, here is the weather warning. So this is the weather warning that I saw yesterday. And you might notice it says heavy rain. There is a heavy rain warning. 25 to 50 millimetres of rain, which doesn't sound much, to be honest with you, but actually that is quite a lot of rain falling non-stop across, well, I suppose the western part of England, which just happens to be where I am as well. You see? So we have had a lot of rain. I suppose I should mention the weather outside. It isn't too bad at the moment. Let's have a look outside, shall we? Shall we have a look? Okay, there it is outside right now in the front garden of my house in Much Wenlock. For those wondering where I am at the moment, I'm broadcasting live from my little house in Much Wenlock in England, which, of course, also happens to be the birthplace of the English language. Ooh, fancy pants. Can I say hello to Mog Mog? Hello, Mog Mog. Welcome. Welcome back. Nice to see you back with us. Also, we have Zoran and we have Parisa. That is great to see you. I love your lessons. Thank you, Parisa, for your lovely comment. Saturino is here as well. Also, we have Anna. You look great, Mr. Duncan. Thank you very much. I feel good. I must be honest with you. I did feel as if I needed a little break. So that's the reason why I took a break during September. I wanted to have a little bit of a rest, a slight rest, which is what I have done. Belarusia, can I say a special hello to Belarusia? I know you haven't been very well and you have been in hospital. That's all I'm saying. If you want to share the information, you can. But I'm so glad. I can't begin to tell you how happy I am to see you here today. I suppose that deserves a round of applause. Yeah. Belarusia is back. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you are feeling much better after your surgical adventures. Hello, Anna Lau. Hello, Anna, watching in Hong Kong. Nice to see you here as well. Nice to see Hong Kong is here watching. And of course, I'm sure many people are thinking about all of you there right now. Hello, Dananjay. Hello, sir. We've missed you a lot during September. We love you very much. We love your lessons very much. Thank you very much. We are back every Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time, and I will be making some new lessons as well. Talking of which, I did post a couple of new lessons on my YouTube channel. Did you see them? Including a lesson all about law and order. Silence in court! Silence in court! Judge Moody presiding. You heard what the man said. Judge Moody presiding. Silence in court. My name is Judge Moody, and I sit here every day, waiting for the next poor soul that I'll have to put away. So another bad apple appears. As I muse, will I throw away the key? As I sit watching the defendant sweat, wishing they were free. So I listen to the evidence with a keen set of ears. If the people find him guilty, then he'll go away for years. He killed his wife with a tin of paint. It said crimson on the lid. They caught him red-handed, but he refused to say what he did. Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict yet? Yes, Your Honour, lock him up for life. He deserves everything he'll get. So the next time you want to do something bad, it might be all to no avail. Because if you end up in front of me, I will send you away to jail. Silence in court. I will have silence in my court. So there it was. A quick excerpt, a short excerpt from one of my new lessons that I posted during September, all about law and order. If you haven't watched it, it is available on my YouTube channel. Hello to everybody. It's so nice to see you here. I hope you've had a good September. If you have any news to share with me, please let me know. It would be ever so nice if you were able to tell me what has been going on in your life. By the way, just in case you're wondering, the cows are still here. There they are. Yesterday, I decided to film the cows in my garden, or should I say from my garden. A lot of people think that this is my back garden, but it isn't. My back garden joins this particular field where these cows have been living for the past 7 months, and they're still here. I can't believe it. We were talking about this yesterday, Mr. Steve and myself. We were talking about the cows and whether or not they were going to be taken away before winter arrives, but they are still here. Lovely cows in the field. Now, these are not very old. These are young cows, but they have become very friendly with Mr. Steve and myself. They have become very friendly, especially during this period of time, because there are lots of apples in our garden on the tree, and apparently cows love apples. They are absolutely crazy for apples. So now we know that apples are one of a cow's favourite foods. Yes. So apples, grass, I suppose anything that is green might be appealing to a cow. But yes, the cows are still here. They haven't gone away. They are still around and about. Oh, talking of which, we have a lovely animal photograph to show you in a moment that was sent in to me. Also, the farmers have been very busy as well. They have been doing their harvest. And a couple of days ago, I was out and about filming one of the farmers ploughing his field. So the harvest has just taken place. And now you can see in the distance, you can see that the tractors are busily ploughing the field, ready for the next harvest for 2021. Can you believe it? So isn't that a beautiful view? I must be honest with you. That is a rather nice view. And looking a little bit closer, you can see there is a tractor pulling a plough. So that particular tractor is being driven by one of the local farmers, and he is ploughing the field. You plough the field before you scatter the seed. And that is what he is doing at the moment, for those who are wondering. Oh, and here is one of the views. Looking out of my window, you can see lots of birds flying around. In fact, those birds you can see are pigeons. If you look very closely, you can see a big flock of pigeons flying across the beautiful vista of Shropshire. Talking of which, this morning we had a lovely treat in the garden this morning. Would you like to see some baby pigeons? We were both very surprised to see these beautiful creatures in the garden, and they were hungrily nibbling at the berries on one of the bushes in our garden. Look at that. Oh, yes. So these are actual baby pigeons. If you've ever wondered what a young pigeon looks like after it leaves the nest, well, there they are. So these are two very young pigeons, and it would appear that they are enjoying the berries. There are some beautiful fresh red berries on one of the bushes that is in our garden, and you can see they are eating the berries. If there is one thing the pigeons like doing, they like stuffing their stomachs full of food, and that is what those pigeons are doing right now. They are gorging. Oh, I like that word, gorge. If you gorge on something, it means you eat something very quickly, or perhaps you eat a very large quantity of food. You gorge on your food. You eat a lot of food, but also you gorge on the food at the same time. So for those wondering what a baby pigeon looks like, there it is. There are two pigeons, and they have just left their nest. One of the interesting things about pigeons is that the young are reared until they are virtually full-sized. It's very strange, very unusual. So that was the view that greeted me this morning when I opened my curtains. Mr. Steve was very excited. He said, "Mr. Duncan, quick, come here. There are some baby pigeons in the garden." And there they are. I thought I would share that moment with you. I hope you enjoyed that. Here we go then. We are live today. For those wondering what this is, I will explain once more. We are back live, and we are live every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. We have a lot of things coming up today, by the way. We have Mr. Steve. We are also going to play a game called the Logo Game. Oh, that sounds very intriguing. Find out what that is all about a little bit later on. Also, we will be looking at words and phrases, idioms connected with being on the road. Words, idioms, phrases connected to roads, streets, maybe also driving, and lots of other things connected with being in a car. And did you like the little thumbnail with Mr. Steve and myself? Look at that. Isn't that lovely? So there is Mr. Steve and myself driving through a country lane, having a lovely time. And today we have road idioms. We are also playing the logo game. And yes, we are back, definitely. I hope you are feeling good on this Sunday afternoon, or maybe Sunday morning, or perhaps Sunday evening, depending on where you are in the world. Parisa says baby animals are so lovely. I agree with you, they are. Hello, Hugo. Hugo Henao says, I have learned so much from you. Thank you for all of your live streams. You are welcome. No problem. I am back. I will be with you every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. And of course, because I'm here on Sunday, hopefully you will be relaxed. I am relaxed, and we can spend a little bit of time together. Not only listening to me, but also you can chat with each other as well. One of the wonderful things that I love about the live chat is that everyone can get involved, not only talking to me, but also with each other as well. I always think of this as a large family. It's like having a family reunion. A little bit like Christmas time or Thanksgiving, except it happens every week. Very nice. Your background on your screen is very vibrant. Thank you very much. That is the garden at the moment. The garden right now, where Mr. Steve has been busily working hard, putting things right. We just had a look at some baby pigeons. Would you like to have a look at a baby turtle dove? Okay then, here it is. This is a little turtle dove. The photograph sent to me by Irene, who says, I now have a baby turtle dove that I'm looking after. And there you can see the bird is actually, I'm not sure what the bird is actually eating there. It might be bread. So perhaps it's bread that's been soaked in water. But I am interested to find out how you came by this turtle dove. Did you find it in your garden? Was it injured in some way? So I would be very interested to find out what actually happened to this turtle dove. How did you come by? How did you find this particular creature? I would be very intrigued to find out. So many things to mention. Another thing I want to mention is I have some new socks. As you know, if you are a regular viewer, you will know that I often wear my socks out. Quite often, my socks become old, they become full of holes, and of course they start to smell as well. So I have some lovely socks. These are some new socks that I bought recently. Would you like to have a look at them? Here we go. So this is my sock cam. And we are now going to take a look at my socks. Would you like to have a look? There they are. So that is what I'm wearing at the moment. My lovely new socks. As you can see, they are multicoloured. They have lots of bright colours. And also they are odd as well. So they don't actually match. They are not the same. So these are some socks that I bought a few days ago, and I have 12 pairs of socks. Because all of my socks were starting to fall to pieces. They were falling apart, unfortunately. So I've decided I decided to buy some new socks. And that is what I'm doing. Right now I'm wearing a pair of my new socks. I hope you like them. So what is new in your world? Is there any news from where you are? I know there is one story that many people are talking about at the moment, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Oh, can I say hello to Mika? Mika Ode is here. Hello, Mika. Nice to see you back as well. How are things in Japan? I hope things are going well. Partap is here as well. Hello, Partap. Happy birthday to you. Because it's always your birthday, isn't it? I think, did I see Pedro? Did I just see Pedro Belmont? Pedro Belmont is here today. Hello to Pedro. I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. Pedro Belmont is here. Nice to see you back as well. Palmyra is here. Also Pedro. Hello, Pedro Belmont, once more, who has decided to join me. And Pedro has a suggestion. I didn't notice that, but now I can see that you are here. Mr. Duncan, I have a suggestion. Are you interested to hear what it is? I don't mind. That's fine. Very good. If you have a suggestion, as long as the suggestion isn't, Mr. Duncan, can you please do your show naked? I'm not doing that. I get many requests, but I'm not doing that. Definitely not. We also have Saturino. MD Ryan. Hello, watching in Bangladesh. Nice to see you here as well. We are going to take a little break and then Mr. Steve is going to join us. We are going to find out all about what Mr. Steve has been doing during the month of September. Meanwhile, shall we have a look at something else? Here's something interesting. A little bit later on, we are talking about words, phrases connected to being on the road, streets, roads, idioms, phrases. And I suppose here is a nice phrase that sometimes we will use. Have you ever taken a walk down memory lane? There is a phrase in English, a walk down memory lane. This phrase means that you are spending some time thinking or talking about past events. We spent the whole afternoon down memory lane talking about our school days. You might invite a person to take a stroll down memory lane. This means that you want to talk to them about their past. Sometimes it is nice to take a walk down memory lane. The action of fondly remembering past events can be described as being nostalgic, a nostalgic moment. You are being nostalgic about something. You long for that time to return, the way something was done in the past, or an attitude towards something which no longer exists. You reflect over days gone by. Nostalgia is the noun that names this action. Items that you bought or were given to you many years ago can help you remember a past event. A souvenir you bought during a past holiday
or a present given to you on your wedding day can help to keep that time fresh in the memory. We can describe these items as memorabilia.
So there it was, one of my English lessons, one of my many English lessons, which you can find on my YouTube channel, all about memory. We are talking about road idioms, phrases and expressions, but coming up next, he is back as well. We have all returned, and yes, he is back with us. Joining us live right now in the studio. Are you excited? Mr. Steve will be here any second now. Oh yes. Are you ready?
Hello.
It's Mr. Steve. A round of applause, please, for Mr.
Oh, it's so good to be back, Mr. Duncan. So good to be back in the hub of English.
We are back, and I suppose it does feel a little strange. I'm not going to pretend that it did feel weird this morning when I was thinking about what shall I do today? Shall I just sit and watch episodes of Columbo all day, or shall I do my live stream? And unfortunately, I had no choice. I couldn't sit and watch Columbo on the television because I had a live stream to do. And we are all together again. So September, Steve.
Yes?
It seemed like a long month to me.
It was a long month, Mr. Duncan. There was a lot going on in September. You were making lots of lessons and getting to grips with filming again and composing long lessons, which of course you have been missing doing.
Yes.
While you've been doing the live streams. But of course you've been missing the live streams as well. I've been sort of missing the live streams. I'm only joking. I have been missing them. Hello to everyone. Hello. I'm sure people are saying hello. No? Yes? And yes, people are saying hello to me.
I think they've noticed you.
Oh, that's very nice. It feels like I'm back in the family again, doesn't it?
It's strange. It's a very strange feeling. It feels odd. Even though we've only been away for 5 weeks, it feels like I've been away for years.
I know. I've been. There's been some interesting comments on the live stream, the live chat, Mr. Duncan. People have been talking about your socks.
Oh, yes.
And Palmyra said that your socks reflect your personality.
They do. Because if you look at my socks for too long, you might feel sick. And apparently, if you look at me for too long, you might also feel sick. So these are the socks that I'm wearing right now. So these are my socks, the ones that I have on my feet. They're my live sock cam showing you the socks that I'm wearing. Oh, by the way, just in case you're wondering, I'm not naked below the waist. I'm actually wearing my shorts. But yes, I have my socks, my bright socks, my new socks.
I can confirm that Mr. Duncan is indeed wearing those socks. You must have filmed yourself earlier.
I can take one off and show you. Wait there.
You could do, yes.
Here we go. I didn't plan to do this, so there it is. There is. Oh, you can see the green screen there.
Mr. Duncan. Oh, will you put your sock back on, please?
Do you like that? It's not that bad.
I'm joking, of course.
You know what, Steve? In the morning when I wake up, one of the things I never look forward to doing is putting my socks on, because I find it very hard to do nowadays. Lifting my leg up to put on my socks.
You've lost flexibility in your back, Mr. Duncan.
I am stiff.
You need to do stretching exercises.
Every morning.
Like what I do.
In the morning I wake up and I'm very stiff.
You need to bend down and touch your toes, Mr. Duncan.
I used to be very good at that.
You need to be able to put your socks on standing up, just like this. You need to be able to bend down and put your socks on. But you can't do that, can you, Mr. Duncan? Because you just don't take enough exercise.
So the problem now is I only have one sock. I can't put this sock back on.
I can carry on talking.
Not. I will have to get down on the ground. What is Mika saying?
True.
What is Mika saying?
Well, Mika's off to bed. I've arrived and Mika's off to bed.
I see.
She must be. As soon as she saw me, she went, oh, I feel very tired. I'm off to bed. No, I'm only joking because obviously time zones and all that.
Yes.
Mika's probably got to go to bed because she's probably working in the morning.
And the worst thing is, as well, the clocks will change soon, so we will actually be on later. Even later in Japan, unfortunately.
Palmyra's off as well.
Palmyra is going. We've been away for 5 weeks and everyone's leaving.
We're joking because obviously people do start to go. I expect Pedro will be off soon. Hello, Pedro.
Pedro has a suggestion.
What's that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm waiting for Pedro to tell us what his suggestion is. So, Pedro, you have a suggestion. What is it? Is it something nice or is it something not so nice? Can you hear my stomach?
As usual, I would suspect, Mr. Duncan, that you have not eaten anything.
I have eaten nothing.
Today.
Nothing. I've had nothing.
And I've had a bowl of porridge with blueberries. I've had a handful of nuts. I've had some bread. I've had a salad. I've been out in the garden exercising.
And this is today.
Yes.
All of that. You've done all of that today.
Yes.
Incredible.
You know, well, it's been raining, hasn't it, Mr. Duncan? We've had solid rain for, I would say, 36 hours without a break.
Yeah, a very long time. I know. I can't believe
Yes.
I was saying earlier we've had a lot of rain. Did you like my little thumbnail, Steve? Because today we're talking about idioms to do with being on the road.
Ah, well, yes, look at that. Aren't we having fun, Mr. Duncan?
There's Steve doing the thing he loves doing, driving very fast around the country lanes. And there I am waving to everyone. And if you look closely, you can see there is a little hedgehog in the corner holding a sign. And the sign says, "Please don't run me over." Well, I'm not sure about that. Mr. Steve does like squashing animals on the highways of the UK. It does happen. But that is what we're doing later, Steve. We are going to look at some idioms, phrases connected with streets and roads.
Oh, I shall be particularly excited about that.
Yes.
Just going back to the flooding very briefly.
Flooding?
We've had lots of rain here and we've had a lot of flooding. There's some shots of people's houses falling off the edge of cliffs.
Really?
Near the sea, yes. But apparently Valentina says that where Saturino is living, there's been flooding there as well.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're having a monsoon season here. I mean, literally, it didn't stop. I'm glad we've had our flat roof repaired.
Yes.
Which was leaking.
One of the many things we've been doing or having done during September. It's been a busy month. By the way, I had some people ask about you and your working environment.
Moi?
So I thought it would be interesting to show a picture of Steve. So this is, whenever Steve is upstairs working, this is what it looks like. And if you look very closely, at the bottom right-hand corner of the picture, I think that looks like a car magazine.
It certainly is, Mr. Duncan.
Now, Steve, I have a feeling that maybe during the daytime, whilst you're working in your office, perhaps now and again you have a little break and read your car magazine?
I certainly do. When I'm getting bored talking to customers or colleagues, I'll have a sneaky look at my car magazine. That's an interesting shot because it looks like I'm in a prison.
It does.
Yes, let's just clarify the fact that you can see bars and things outside the window. That's because that is when Mr. Duncan took that picture when we were having the flat roof repaired and we had scaffolding outside my window.
Fortunately, the scaffolding has now gone. It's gone away.
It's gone, yes.
So Mr. Steve has his beautiful view. It is back.
People, my work colleagues laugh at my filing cabinet behind me there.
Yes.
Filing cabinet. They laugh at it because it looks very old, which it is. It's probably, I would say that filing cabinet is 70 years old.
So on the left-hand side of the picture, you can see a set of drawers, and that's a filing cabinet. So is that something maybe one of your distant relatives used to own, or maybe?
Well, no, actually, when I was a student,
Yeah.
many years ago, we're talking, early 1980s.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Duncan.
Nearly 40 years ago.
40 years ago. Well, I know it's 40 years ago because I met with a friend.
Okay.
Who went to university with me.
Yeah.
And we met up a couple of weeks ago because it was 40 years since we met.
Okay.
So, yes, so I used to, during one of the years, I was staying with a landlady.
Okay.
And in accommodation, as you do as a student. And she was getting rid of that old filing cabinet, which was her husband's.
Oh, I see.
And he'd had it about, he must have had it probably 30 or 40 years. So I reckon it could be up to 80 years old, that filing cabinet.
Really?
Yes.
80?
Yes, easily.
So maybe the 1930s?
Yes, I think that's 1930s because he had it in his home and he got it from an office where he used to work when they were closing down when he retired.
I'm blown away.
It's solid metal. You can't move it, I'll tell you. But people laugh at it, but it's in perfect condition and there's no way I would throw it away.
It makes a hell of a noise when you open and close the drawers.
One thing I would say, safety with filing cabinets has come on a long way since that.
Yes.
Filing cabinet, because you cannot, on a modern filing cabinet, it won't let you open two drawers at the same time. Did you know that, Mr. Duncan?
I did not know that. Is that to stop it from falling on you?
Yes, because when you open the top drawer and you've got it wide open,
okay.
Well, there's a lot of weight suddenly redistributed forward of that filing cabinet. So if you open two, then there's a danger that the filing cabinet can topple over and fall on you. And in fact, that did happen to me with that filing cabinet.
Really?
Yes. I was opening. I might have had three drawers open or something, and I suddenly saw it moving, and I had to very quickly. I could have been seriously injured, Mr. Duncan. That was years ago. So I always remember that with that filing cabinet, there's no safety device to stop you opening more than one drawer at a time.
What a way to go! What a way to go!
What a boring story.
Squashed, flattened, squashed to death by a filing cabinet. If you are going to die, do it in a colourful way. And I think a lot of people would have remembered that, you see. They would have said, you remember that guy, Stephen, Mr. Steve? He got squashed by a filing cabinet.
Well, anybody that works in an office, you go to your office and try opening two drawers on the filing cabinet
and you
at
can't.
the same time.
You can't.
And there should be a safety device that prevents that.
Okay, that's interesting.
If there isn't, you can report your employer to the Health and Safety Board.
We've just been asked, Mr. Steve, are you working from home still?
Yes.
Yes. It looks as if we might all be working from home forever and ever.
Well, I did go out to see maybe 4 customers.
Yes.
About a month ago.
But then they changed the rules.
And then we started getting more and more cases.
Yes.
And certain areas have been locked down, so I've stopped going out.
A lot of people said, Mr. Duncan, are you off? Are you away from the live streams because you have coronavirus? I don't have it. I don't have it. Mr. Steve doesn't have it. As far as we know, we don't have it, although there are some people that do have it, and I wish you all a speedy recovery wherever you are in the world.
As I've already said, and I'm sure you've said, Mr. Duncan decided to take a month off from his live streams because, let's face it, you were doing them for how long?
I was knackered.
Non-stop? You were doing live streams. How long would you say you have done at least 3 live streams a week for?
I was doing 3 live streams every week, and then for part of the lockdown period,
yes.
I was doing them every day.
But
So-
how long were you doing continuous live streams, do you think? When did you first start doing them?
When I started doing my live streams was 4 years ago, but I used to do them once a week. Then I did them 3 times a week.
Faster, Mr. Duncan.
And then sometimes I would do them every day. But this year, because of all of the strange circumstances that are causing everyone to have very strange lives indeed.
But anyway, you took a break.
I was tired.
He was exhausted.
I was knackered.
He had to go to a convalescent home. A convalescent home.
Oh, but remember, talking of that, Steve,
What, a home?
my mother is still with us, but unfortunately the situation hasn't changed at all. So we still can't go to see her. There is still complete lockdown in residential care homes. So sadly, I can't go to see my mother at all. And we can't even use FaceTime or the internet because they have no connection there for mobile devices.
No.
So we can't even talk to each other face to face on the tablet device.
Very distressing for you, Mr.
I
Duncan.
know. I must admit, the one thing that has really annoyed me this year is not being able to see my mum at all in any way.
There's Palmyra saying that lots of people, lots of students are being taught online. We've got a bit of controversy here in the UK, have we not, Mr. Duncan? Because all the students went back in September, as they do every year, and there's been huge outbreaks of coronavirus.
Yes, Pete, can you believe
universities?
I know this might be a very long subject and we have lots of other things to do, but we have been doing some very strange things, some rules that make no sense whatsoever. I don't want to go too deeply into it because I'm sure you, like us, are completely sick and tired of hearing about bloody coronavirus all the time. So the government here keep changing their minds about the rules.
Did you swear then, Mr. Duncan?
It wasn't swearing.
I think the word bloody is a swear word, Mr. Duncan.
It's in the Bible.
Still a swear word.
It's in the Bible. Blood is in the Bible. Blood is in the book. If you don't bloody believe me, take a bloody look.
You've just offended millions of people, Mr. Duncan.
We used to say that at school. That's one of my school days rhymes.
One of our universities here in the UK, I don't know which one it is, they've had 750 cases.
They all seem to be in the north of England.
750 cases of students in a university all coming down, more or less within a few days.
They all seem to be in the north of England. I don't know why, but it would appear, and this is something I'm going to say, I'm probably going to get into trouble for saying this, Steve, but I predict over the next 48 hours, here it is, Steve. Are you ready for this? This is my prediction.
Right.
London will go into lockdown. I think so. It hasn't happened yet again. But I predict that, Steve. I think it's going to happen. I think London's going to be locked down because they're having lots of cases there and people seem to be ignoring a lot of the instructions. So I think over the next couple of days, I think my own prediction, it's not official, but I think London will be locked down. I think so.
Saturino says, talking about Italy, yes, there was an interesting segment I saw on television about Italy.
Okay.
Of course, they were one of the first countries to have many cases and they were the first country in the world, I think, to have a lockdown. And of course, everybody thought that can't happen to us. And of course it did.
Besides China.
Yes, and of course it did. But Italy now are leading the way in the way that they are combating the virus. They are testing and tracking and tracing, and they haven't had to have a second lockdown, whereas we are going into second lockdowns. I think I'm right in that. That's what I saw on the news, that they're managing it now very well. Everyone's doing as they're told. People are going about their work. Businesses are carrying on working normally, well, sort of normally now, but they are managing it, I think, a lot better than we are. I don't think we've learnt many lessons. And in fact, what have we heard today? That a great big chain of cinemas is closing down.
Yes, it's a large
in the
chain.
UK.
That's it, and it's all because of James Bond. Apparently, now James Bond is not only licensed to kill, but also he's licensed to put large businesses out of business. So because the film, the new James Bond film was delayed and many cinemas had to close, a very big chain of cinemas has closed down completely, Cineworld.
I know.
And they own other chains of cinemas as well. This is a very big story, and a lot of people are quite shocked. So it just shows the effect that this is still happening. Even if you delay a movie for a few months, the effect can be amazing because people aren't going to the cinemas and they don't make any money.
And anyone who's ever been to one of these large cinema complexes will know that there are lots of restaurants there and other shops. So all these businesses around these cinemas are automatically, probably almost certainly, going to go bust as well.
Yeah, it's
because they depend on the cinema for people, for business.
A great expression, a ripple effect. So one thing happens, and then it affects other things, and then they affect other things, and you have a ripple effect. So if one industry has problems, you will find that it will affect other industries at the same time. So a cinema goes out of business, all of the restaurants and bars nearby will also suffer. It's terrible. There seems to be no end in sight.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't at the moment. But we're staying positive, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, I'm not. We've been very positive. We've kept ourselves happy. We've had a smile on our faces.
Sort of.
Well, speak for yourself.
You see, you've got interesting about the colourful socks. What coloured socks do you think I would wear? You knowing my personality.
I can't really tell because, you seem to wear black socks.
That's about right.
A lot. Well, I think they're black socks, or maybe your feet are just very dirty.
My socks are black and dark like my soul.
Yeah.
I'm only joking. I can be fun, yes. 6 persons in a pub, Palmyra. Is that where you are, or are you quoting the UK rules? Well, that's interesting because, yes, it's... Oh, 6 persons in a pub. Oh, right. So here... The rules here are you can have as many people as you like in the pub.
You can have 100,000 people in a pub. However, if you go to the supermarket opposite, you have to keep your distance and you can only have so many people in the shop, but everyone has to wear a mask. But if you go across the road into the pub, you don't have to wear a mask.
And many people as they like can go in. And at the moment, we cannot, if you are in a place where there's a lockdown going on, so you can't visit family members, you can't go to their home and visit them, and you can't go into their garden and visit them, even with a mask on, but you can meet them down the pub. So... We've got lots of confusing rules here, and our Prime Minister was asked about the rules.
And he forgot.
And he didn't know what they were.
He forgot the rules that he was telling us all to abide by.
We're all confused in the UK. Nobody knows. And apparently and the pubs are now shutting at 10 o'clock because apparently the virus knows that it's not going to come out until 10 o'clock.
Yes, because apparently they've found out that the virus goes to sleep at 10 o'clock.
No, it wakes up at 10. Yes.
Wakes up at 10 o'clock. It likes to stay asleep. Even I'm getting confused.
We're all confused. We're all confused.
Oh, it's 4 minutes past 3 o'clock.
Already?
We have lots of things to do. We are going to play a little game. Are you ready, Steve, to play a little game?
Yes.
Would you like to play a little game at home? This is called the logo game. I'm going to show you a well-known logo. The word logo means a symbol, something that represents maybe a company, an organisation, something that is easily recognisable and will allow you to name whatever the company is or whatever the organisation is. Logo. You can see here, above me, there is my English Addict logo. So that thing there, going round and round, is my logo. So people will recognise my lessons. So logos, I'm going to show you some logos, Steve. And what I'm going to ask you to do out there in YouTube land is to guess what the logo is. However, I'm going to make it difficult, Steve.
I was just going to put the word logo up on the screen.
I'm going to make it difficult.
Have you got the word logo to put up?
I suppose we can have a look at that. There it is. Logo.
Not logo.
Logo. Logo.
There we go. You know, I just thought I'd help out.
No, that's good. Very good, Steve.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm your assistant. I'm here
Good.
to help.
Thank you very much. The logo game. Some well-known logos, but I'm only going to show you a little bit, a little part of the logo. You see? Do you like that?
So it's a bit like that game where you hear a bit of a tune, a bit of a small segment of a song, and you have to guess what the song is.
Or maybe a little part of a jigsaw puzzle, and you have to name what the picture is. So here it is. Here's the first one, Steve. I don't know if you'll get this. So here is the first logo that I'm going to show now on the screen. Are you ready? Here it is right now. Oh. So that is part of a well-known logo. It is a company. Now I might give some clues.
Is it?
Oh no!
Okay.
Don't you do it? Don't you do it, Steve?
I'm only joking.
One of the reasons why I don't want Steve to do it is because he can see the answer in front of him
I can't.
on the screen. It is there on the screen, so don't say anything.
Where is it? I can't see it.
Right there.
Oh, right.
So don't say it. Don't say.
Oh, well,
Don't say-
I hadn't guessed it correctly.
So there is something that you will see quite often if you are walking around the town during the day. You will see that symbol. It is a logo for a very well-known company.
Oh, let's see if anyone... Christella says, is it a car company?
Is
No.
it a car company? No, it isn't. So that's the reason why Steve probably doesn't know what it is, because it has nothing to do with cars. However, it is something that we both enjoy.
Well, I think you do more than me.
So we enjoy this thing.
And while you're thinking about that, the answer to Tomic is asked a question. No. Tomic says, does your company reimburse the extra costs of working from home? Electricity, water, etc. Toilet paper, maybe? They don't, and that's a good question. Maybe I should ask.
We have got through a lot of toilet paper.
And milk.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is something we were talking about yesterday. I don't know why, but since the lockdown and since all of this craziness, we are getting through so much milk. And I don't know why or how.
Well, I'm bathing in it, Mr. Duncan, because it's good for your skin. Do you remember Cleopatra?
Ugh.
She used to bathe in ass's milk, according to the films.
No,
I've
I think what you wanted to say, she used to bathe her ass in milk.
Well, famously in films, you always saw Cleopatra bathing in milk.
Okay.
But whether she did or not, but that's why I do it.
I don't mind that. That's okay, Steve, as long as you're not putting the milk back into the bottle afterwards. Ooh.
I do. Well, we've got a correct answer.
Oh, okay then. Okay, I can see some correct answers coming through. So
There's only one.
This is something different for today. So can you name the logo? I will show you the logo in its entirety, the complete logo, in a moment.
Why not now?
Oh, I see, yes. Oh, I see. Pauline. Hello, Pauline Wong. You have, well, not the wrong answer, but the right answer. Well done, Pauline.
Well done, Pauline.
The logo we were looking for is... It's finger licking good.
Look at that.
KFC.
I think Pauline likes her chicken.
Me too. I like a little bit of chicken on my plate. What?
Is it the McNuggets you like, or is it the... I like the Zinger burgers.
McNuggets are a different company.
Oh, right, okay. What is it that where you get chicken
Zinger.
something?
Zinger.
Burgers is what I like.
Zinger.
Mind you, I haven't had one for years, but yes, all the fillet burgers, I like those.
Okay. Well, I remember years ago we used to go to Burger King because
We did.
they used to have the most amazing vegetable burgers.
Yes, bean burgers.
Yeah, bean burgers. So they had vegetables, but also lovely beans inside. And
Kidney
they-
beans.
And they were burgers, but
They were gorgeous, with cheese on top.
Hmm.
And then you could buy them from the shops frozen.
Yeah.
And we used to have them quite regularly. And then they just stopped making them. And then they stopped making them, then brought them back, and they changed the recipe, and they weren't very nice anymore. So we miss bean burgers.
Why do they keep changing things
They're always changing the recipes of things.
when there is nothing wrong with it?
It's like fish fingers.
Here is another one, Steve.
Okay.
Another logo. We've got a lot to get through.
Right, faster.
Here's another one. Here's another well-known. This is a very well-known
I
logo.
think I know that one.
Okay, then don't say anything.
I'm going to have a sneaky look to see if I'm right.
This is a very well-known logo. I think a lot of people are going to get this one. So these are not all connected to food, but some of them are connected to food. Of course, it is one of our favourite subjects, isn't it, Steve?
Do you know there were riots in the UK when I think it was a KFC
Okay.
when it reopened after the initial lockdown.
Really?
There were riots and fights.
So you mean recently?
Yes, I think. When did we come out of lockdown? Was it national lockdown?
I have no
2
idea.
months ago, something like that.
I don't know, Steve. I have to keep reminding myself what day it is and what month it is, because this year is a little bit like walking through a desert. You don't know where you are. You're just in the desert. There is sand everywhere, and that is 2020. You are lost in the desert. You don't know which way you're going, where you're going. Are you going forwards, backwards? Maybe you are going around and around in circles. So that is my impression of this year. This year is like being in the desert, completely lost.
Well, we did have those riots. Well, when I say riots, we had
Yes.
fights and people queuing up like a mile-long queue just to get a burger.
You
after the
know
lockdown.
queues. When people queue up, that's not a riot.
Well, I think there were fights. I think people were fighting because Anyway, we've got the correct answer. Several people have got this one.
Okay. Name the name.
Valeria was first.
Who's that?
Valeria.
Valeria
Contiero.
Contiero. I like your name.
And Zoe got it.
Hello, Zoe.
Hiroko, Farah, Aaronildo. Lots of people have got it.
Twan Yuin's son. Nice to see you back as well.
Nicely pronounced, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah, let's look at that.
But yes, Mog, you've got it as well. Christina, Lorella.
Here it is then for those.
Everyone's recognised this one.
I think so. So if you are feeling thirsty in the morning, when you are working in the office,
Thursday now.
quite often people will go across the road or down to the high street and they will have a lovely cup of Starbucks coffee.
There are many other brands of coffee, like Costa, for example.
Yes.
But yes, these, of course, are suffering. Their businesses are suffering because people are working in offices. People on the way to work would stop in to get a coffee on the way to work, maybe at break times, at lunchtime. But of course, that routine that people had has been broken. And even now, people have gone back to work. They're not necessarily going for their coffees because they don't feel safe. They've realised that spending £3, £4, £5, £6 a day on coffees when they could probably make it themselves for 50p.
Yes.
A lot of people are making different choices. They're saving money as well because they're not certain that their job is going to be here.
And many are working from home.
Many are working from home.
So you have your own coffee shop in your house, in your kitchen. You can make your own coffee.
And as we've discovered, we can make very nice coffee at home.
Yes, we can.
And save ourselves a fortune.
So that's it. So that is it,
Not
really.
a fortune,
Not a fortune.
but a lot.
Coffee isn't that expensive.
But we do say that. That's a phrase. people use in the UK quite a lot. Even we use, I'll save a fortune if I do that. We always use that. It's an exaggeration
Okay.
to something where you will save a small amount of money, but not a large amount of money.
Yes.
Like somebody might say, I'm going to cook all my own meals from now on. I'm not going to get ready-made meals from the supermarket. I'll save a fortune.
Yes.
You're not saving a fortune. You're saving some money, but you just say it as an exaggeration.
Well, fortune means to have luck, good luck. But quite often we will relate fortune with money.
Well, in that case, that is what that means.
That's it. That's what I mean. But generally, the word fortune is just luck. Something goes your way. Fortune shines
Yes, it's another meaning.
on you. But quite often we also refer to money. A large amount of money is a fortune.
Obviously, you're not going to save a fortune
No.
if you're making your own coffee and
Okay.
not buying it from Starbucks, for example, but we always say that as an exaggeration in the UK.
By the way, we're not getting paid. We're not getting any money from anyone for this. This is just a little bit of fun, something different.
My mother said that to me last night on the phone.
Did she?
Yes, because I said that because our local, that's something that's happened in September,
Okay.
the Copper Kettle, which
Yes.
a lot of people will have heard us referring to as our favourite place to go and eat on a Saturday.
Well, that happened in August.
So it's closed down. Did we mention it?
Yes, we did a live stream the next day. That was in
Yes.
August.
Oh, blimey, I can't
It's
remember
weeks
that.
and weeks since that. It's
Well, sorry, can I just finish? I said to my mother last night, she said, "What are you doing now? Have you found another restaurant to go and eat at?" I said, "No, we're not bothering. We're just cooking now on a Saturday instead."
we've started cooking at home.
And my mother said that phrase that everybody says in the UK, you'll save yourself a fortune by not eating out.
That's it.
Not a fortune, but we always say that as worth noting. If you ever save small amounts of money in the UK, just say, I'll save a fortune or a small fortune.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. Here's another logo. So this one has nothing to do with food, Steve. Nothing to do with food.
Is it cars?
Here it is. So anyone know what this is? It seems to have a red background. And I don't know what that is, though. It looks like some sort of structure. Maybe something to do with mobile phones, perhaps. I don't know. It looks
Or a car, maybe?
maybe a car. Oh yes, because we
I
will
don't
be
know.
we will be talking about roads and street idioms a little bit later on as well. So any guesses? This is something you might see in your house.
Well, Partridge, good guess. Because it does look like the Toyota logo. Or even Honda. It looks a bit like Honda as well.
Yes. It's nothing to do with cars, but it's something you might see in your house. A very well-known brand, a very well-known logo.
Yes.
This logo, this particular brand, has been around for over 100 years.
Often used to describe
Probably,
other items that are similar
yes.
but don't have that particular brand name.
So even though this is a brand name, it's actually become a generic term for all of the things that do the same job
Yes.
or provide the same function.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Which, if you've got that brand, is a very valuable asset to you. I would say they were probably... I wouldn't be surprised, I don't know for certain, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were the first company to produce this particular device.
Yes, one of the first.
Certainly one of the first successful brands
Ooh, Steve, what was that? Did you get some feeling back in your left leg?
Yes, Anna, our favourite restaurant, the Copper Kettle, has closed. They've sold the business. But of course, they were shut during the lockdown, and we discovered that we actually enjoyed cooking a nice meal on a Saturday for ourselves better than going out. So we weren't going to go back anyway.
Tell them what we had to eat yesterday.
We had chili con carne, or carne.
Steve makes the most amazing chili con carne.
I do.
We had mashed potatoes. Sometimes we have rice with it. Sometimes we have mashed potatoes. We had broccoli as well. One of my favourite vegetables is broccoli. So do we have any correct answers?
Diana was the first.
Diana, well
Well
done.
done, Diana.
Diana Romano, well done. You got the answer right. And also Maura as well. Well done.
Beatrice.
And Beatrice as well. Well done. The answer, the mystery logo, something that is very useful around the house.
Something that we rarely use.
Something that we never use because it's too much effort. We are men, you see. Men never use these devices, ever.
Very rarely.
Hoover. Hoover. Hoover, of course, make vacuum cleaners. But the strange thing is, and the interesting thing is, this particular brand has also become the generic term for doing the vacuum cleaning in your house. So when you use your vacuum cleaner,
Whatever make it might be,
people say that they are getting the Hoover.
they're going to do the hoovering.
Yes, they do the hoovering as a verb, and they hoover the house.
Even if they haven't got a vacuum cleaner made by Hoover,
Yes.
they will still say, oh, I'm going to do the hoovering.
So you hoover your carpet.
That's what we do in the UK.
However, we never do that. We never do that. We just wait until the dust and the dirt is so high. We normally wait until it's up to our knees.
To be more accurate, we usually clean the house and vacuum when we know someone's coming to visit.
Yes. Which
Which is probably
during
what
this
most
present
people do.
which during this present lockdown isn't very often.
But, of course, I have certain standards, Mr. Duncan. You're quite happy to sit around in squalor. Squalor. If your house is squalid,
Okay.
it means it's dirty, disgusting, you haven't cleaned it, you've left rubbish everywhere.
This is
You live in squalor.
This
it
is-
means you're very untidy.
This is libelous. That's libel. You are defaming my name, my good name of being
Squalor.
clean and lovely. Look, I have new socks. You can't criticise my hygiene because see, they smell lovely. Smell my socks.
Squalor. There's
What-
a good name. How do you spell it, Mr. Duncan? Should I put you on the spot?
We have one more brand to come. Guess this logo. This is for Steve, by the way. Don't try to guess it because it's on the screen in front of you. You can actually see the answer. But this is an interesting one, and this leads quite nicely into our idioms about roads and streets.
Well, it's not a car logo. I'm not looking at the answer.
Okay,
I don't
then.
think it's a car logo because I've never seen that before. I've no idea, so I'm going to cheat and look. Where is it, Mr. Duncan?
I've hidden it. So now you can't see it at all. So this is a very well-known logo.
Is it?
And without this company, so many things would not exist in the world, in the modern world. So I think that's a big clue. And it's also related to things that use the roads. Ah, you see, there's a big one. Big clue. That's a clue. That's a big clue. It's a big clue. Any ideas?
I don't know what that is, Mr. Duncan. Something that's yellow, a sort of a yellowy green colour, red, magenta, I would say.
Valentina, I have to hoover my house every day because my dog loses lots of hair all around the house. That is another reason why we will never own a dog. We are never having a dog, ever, because they take up too much time.
Yes, but when you're molting, there's a lot of hair on the carpet then, Mr. Duncan.
Well,
I'm joking.
I don't have much hair left to fall out.
Oh,
What?
is that right?
Pauline.
Pauline.
Pauline Wong is actually right.
She's very good.
Very
Pauline's
good.
very good at
Well
these
done.
logos.
Well done, Pauline. Shell.
Oh.
Shell, says Pauline. So I think this is a pretty good one. Yes, and without Shell oil, we wouldn't have all of our lovely plastic things. There it is, just to prove that it is actually the logo. So I'm not cheating, you see. There it is. So there is the little part. Well,
Shell and, of course, many other Esso. Shell and Esso, they're the common ones in this country.
Yes. It's a shame.
BP.
British Petroleum, even though I believe they're not actually owned by Britain anymore.
Didn't BP cause a huge environmental issue in America, which cost them billions?
Yes.
They had to pay billions. I remember Barack Obama finding them billions, and they had to get rid of loads and loads of staff to pay for this. Now, what was it called? Someone might...
Well,
somewhere in America.
You're talking about this.
Deep Horizon?
It was. Somebody left the tap running.
Yes.
They went down, they went swimming under the ocean, and they turned the tap on to make sure that there was some oil in there.
I think that was BP. Apologies if it isn't.
But they forgot. It was BP, yes. And they forgot to turn the tap off. So all of this oil was just flowing into the sea, which, of course, isn't very good for the environment. David Attenborough was he was running around his house with his underpants pulled right down over his head. He was trying to hide away from the horror that was occurring in the ocean.
There was a terrible oil spill from a tanker. Was it the Seychelles recently? Somewhere absolutely beautiful.
It was actually the Maldives.
I was going to say the Maldives. Oh, yes. I mean, how awful.
That is still going on as well. They're still clearing up.
I know. We don't see enough of that.
Well, you want more oil spills?
I want to see more of the story.
Oh, I see. I thought for a moment you wanted to see more oil spills.
I mean, the Maldives, that's the place they say you've got to visit because the islands are so low that as the sea rises,
yes,
in 50 years' time, that they won't exist, apparently, the Maldives.
The place to go at the moment if you like seeing oil spills is the Maldives, apparently.
Imagine that. Oh, no, not the Maldives. I'm thinking of somewhere else. Sorry. No.
Mars?
There's some islands that people go to. It's very expensive to go to that are very... I can't think of the name of them now. People go for weddings and all sorts of things like this, and they're very, very... They're low. They haven't got much height.
Very low.
Yes.
Not the Seychelles, is it?
No. I thought it was the Maldives. I think it is the Maldives.
It is the Maldives.
Yeah, I think it is.
The Maldives is the most exclusive place in the world to go for your holiday. If you can afford to go to the Maldives, you are very wealthy, very rich.
Unless, of course, you live close to the Maldives, in which case it probably is cheaper for you to go than us. Because I think you can't fly there directly. You have to fly somewhere else, then get a plane there.
Yeah, I think the average hotel is about maybe £2,000 or £3,000 a night.
I don't think it's that much.
It is that much. Trust me.
No, you can get cheaper places because I know people at work that have been.
You have those little huts that sit actually in the sea, and you can have your breakfast brought to you in the morning. It's beautiful, very nice.
Yes, but apparently there's not much to do there. So if you like exploring places, but if you're the type of holiday maker that likes to sort of sit on a beach all day,
yeah,
you'll like the Maldives. And if you like swimming or snorkeling, of course,
yeah,
it's famous for that.
It's almost as if we're being sponsored by the Maldives tourist.
Valeria says
operator.
There's no Hoover brand in Brazil.
Oh, I see. No Hoover. That really sucks.
Oh, Mr. Duncan. Oh, did you say... That's funny, Mr. Duncan.
I thought for a moment Steve was genuinely laughing there.
I was genuinely laughing.
That sucks.
So what brand do you have, Valeria, in Brazil? Please tell us. They do have Hoover in Argentina. Oh, well, that's not far away. Argentina from Brazil. Actually, it's probably thousands of miles. It's just, yeah. But I would have thought if you've got Hoover in Argentina, you'd have it in Brazil.
Do you know how long you were talking for then? It seemed like 5 or 10 minutes there.
No, Partridge, the captions are not there because
YouTube.
well, let's not go into it.
Yeah, YouTube have messed up the live streaming.
Yes.
They've changed everything, and one of the consequences is that the live captions have vanished. So don't complain to me, please. It's nothing to do with me. It's YouTube. They've made changes. I don't know why. If there's nothing wrong with it, please don't change it. But they can't resist, you see. They have to change things all the time. So they've changed it, and now I don't have my lovely live captions. The good news is there will be captions later after this has been stored on YouTube.
They definitely do not have the Hoover brand in Brazil.
Okay, then.
But never mind. Perhaps someone will... Well, actually, they're not... Well, no, let's not go into criticising brands.
They have no Hoovers in Brazil. That must really suck.
Didn't you just say that?
I did, but I wanted to have some laughter.
Maybe you thought no one had heard.
Okay.
That really sucks to the meaning. See, Partridge is asking, that's a joke, but why is it a joke? It's a joke because Hoovers, of course, vacuum cleaners, they suck.
They suck.
They suck the air and the dust into the bag. But of course, if something sucks, if you say something sucks, it means it's you're disadvantaged, aren't you?
Well,
in
something that's awful.
Something that's awful. Oh, that meal really sucks.
Yes.
You would say that that's an awful meal.
Or maybe something that disappoints you, makes you feel disappointed. You say, oh, I can't go to the party tomorrow. That really sucks.
So it's a play on words.
Yes.
Mr. Duncan's live stream on Sunday, it really sucked.
Yes. This really does suck.
Oh.
There was something I was going to say then, but I'm not going to.
No, let's keep it clean, Mr.
Keep it
Duncan.
clean. Keep it clean.
Don't forget we had complaints.
I'm sure you are thinking the same thing as I am. We both have dirty minds. I'm sure you're thinking the same thing. Partridge, there are no live captions. It's not my fault. I have no control.
Panasonic,
Okay.
says Mog. Yes, we've got a Panasonic vacuum cleaner. I nearly said Hoover. We've got a Panasonic vacuum cleaner. And of course, Panasonic are known for their reliability.
Do we have one?
We do, yes.
Oh,
I've
yes.
got one.
Is that the one you use for cleaning your car?
Yes, I keep it in the garage.
And sometimes he siphons the fuel out of our neighbours' cars as well. He uses the Hoover. He uses the Panasonic vacuum cleaner.
Well, my mother gave it to me because it sounds like we're a bit extravagant having two vacuum cleaners, but
Wow. Oh.
we own two vacuum cleaners, Mr. Duncan. We are living the high life.
We have two vacuum cleaners. Ooh.
But we've got one ourselves. But my mother gave me this Panasonic one because she's 89.
Okay then.
And it's an upright vacuum cleaner.
Okay, you have to push it around.
So and it was too heavy for her. So she bought a small, lightweight one, and she said, "Do you want my old vacuum cleaner?" And I said, "Yes, please.
Okay.
I'll keep it in the garage and use it for cleaning out my car."
We had the conversation there verbatim. That was brilliant.
Electrolux.
But now, of course, Mr. Steve's mother just crawls around on the floor with a dustpan and
yes,
brush.
she licks the carpet with her tongue. Electrolux in Brazil. That was a joke.
There was a great phrase that went with Electrolux. Nothing sucks like an Electrolux. I used to love that strap line, that phrase.
Joanne Nugent's son says the word suck is very rude. It's not really rude, is it?
Well, suck, just like any word, can be used in different ways. So suck can just be drawing something through a vacuum.
I'm going to suck this water through the pen.
What?
If I had a straw, I'd be sucking the water through the straw.
You know what? This live stream is sucking the life out of me.
Yes, used in that way, but used to describe something that's not very good or not very nice. It's not really. Would you say it was? It's not really rude, is it? It's an American phrase.
As I just said, any word can be rude if you want to. You know, you can go into the forest and look for some wood, but you might be looking for some wood in the forest, And
Sounds like
if you're lucky, you will find some wood.
sounds like Tuan Nugent. It sounds like it's rude
Tuan
in your
Nguyen.
country,
Tuan Nguyen.
but it's not rude here, and it's a common phrase to use in America.
Yes.
And it's, I suppose, it's a slang phrase. I mean, you could say, "Oh, that meal's not very nice."
No.
But if you say that meal sucks,
Yes.
I wouldn't say it was rude, but it's slang, isn't
Yes,
it?
it's not rude though. It's not rude. It's just saying it's awful.
But it may be rude where Son is.
When I'm eating my spaghetti, I always like to suck whilst eating it. You see, you suck.
Eggplant.
Eggplant.
Abdul.
Is an aubergine.
Eggplant. That's how we would pronounce that, just as it looks.
Yes, eggplant. An eggplant is a very nice vegetable.
You like those, don't you?
I love them. I love aubergines. Some people call them.
Duncan, we've only got 25 minutes left.
I've got some news for you, Steve.
What's that?
It doesn't matter because we are only on once a week.
Well,
So
I'm
this-
going at 4.
Well, you can go at 4, but I might not be. We have a little game coming up. But first of all, can I just mention, last week I was filming a lesson in the garden and I injured myself.
You did?
I had an accident.
Yes.
Whilst
Viewers.
I was filming which lesson was it? I'm trying to remember which one it was now. It was the one I did recently.
first one.
With the words. Now, ironically, this is the strange thing though. The words I was using in the lesson were all words that described my accident. And that's the strange thing. So whilst filming my latest lesson, I actually had an accident which caused me to injure my knee. So there it is. I'm sorry. I know it's very gruesome and horrific to look at. But there you can see I actually injured. I'm not sure what part of the body that is.
I think it's your knee, Mr. Duncan.
I hope it's my knee. But there is a part of my body and it's been badly injured. And that's what happened last week whilst I was trying to film my latest YouTube lesson. But the really strange thing is, some of the words in the lesson describe the accident that I was having, or I had, whilst making that lesson. Isn't that weird? It's very strange.
It was
isn't
very
it?
dramatic.
That's all we're
It's
saying.
very dramatic.
Please send your condolences and sympathy to the usual address. Thank you very
Well,
much.
can I just say, Mr. Duncan, can I say something about it? I bought a sprayer for the garden because so I can spray
Well, this doesn't sound like the story.
to kill off the moth. Anyway, I was putting it together
Okay.
because, like everything nowadays,
Don't
it
give
comes
too
in
many
kit form.
detail. I don't want the
No,
details.
I won't give it. And Mr. Duncan was filming outside on the new slabs that I've laid.
Okay.
Finally finished all that.
Faster.
And then I just, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Mr. Duncan just falling onto the floor.
Yes. And everything else around
And all
me.
his equipment fell onto the floor as
Yes.
well. It was actually quite shocking.
Yes.
You were stunned. It took you
I
some
know.
time to come round.
I hit my head on the ground.
Yes.
And also injured my leg, and I felt dreadful. I was really. It almost knocked me unconscious.
Well, there was a sudden gust of wind, and you were trying to stop the equipment from
Falling.
moving, and then you fell with it.
That's it. It's horrible, and
Just all fell your full length, as we say.
I fell completely flat on my stupid face.
If we say you fall your full length,
Yes.
it means all of you falls down.
That's it. You fall completely flat on the floor.
Yes.
So there it is. That is what happened to me last week. I injured myself whilst making my lessons. Oh,
I know.
dear.
It was very dramatic.
Yeah.
It took me a while
Yes.
to bring you round.
Yes, I was
I'd
dazed.
say you were knocked out, but I would say 5 minutes before you got up.
Yes, I was shocked. I was in shock.
Yes, you were in shock.
But I'm okay now. Fortunately, I hit my head, which of course is completely empty.
Yes.
So there was no damage.
No damage, because there was nothing there to damage.
No. That's it.
We're
That's what I was going for there. Yes, definitely. So let's have a look at today's other feature. There is a little feature that I want to show to everyone in the world. We have road and I suppose you could say street words. Would that sound about right, Steve? Would you concur?
I don't know. I haven't been part of the planning process of this lesson.
Would that be a good description?
Well, if that's the picture you're showing, I would say yes. Road idioms.
Okay then.
Driving.
Yes.
Idioms.
Here we go then. This is it, Steve.
Right.
Let's not waste any more time. Here we go. We are now going to look at some idioms connected with roads and being on the road, in the street, up the street, and generally driving around. What a strange sound, Mr. Steve. I don't know what was happening there.
Me burping.
You were bringing up air. Steve was bringing up air. So
road idioms.
Here we go then. Road idioms, and there are quite a few. So we will get through as many as we can. We are now going to take a look at some idioms connected to roads and streets. Idioms that might be useful in some way. So let's have a look at the first one, shall we? Without any more hesitation. Oh, something is
right up your street.
Something is right up your street. What does that mean?
That means it's something that somebody thinks you would really like.
Yes, or something that is very appropriate.
Yes.
Or something that is very suitable for a person. Something that goes well with that person. Maybe a type of career, job, maybe something that they might decide to do as a hobby. Oh, I want to do stamp collecting as a hobby. Well, I know that you are very interested in stamps, so that hobby will be right up your street.
Yes.
It is very suitable for you.
You might, for example, I might, being interested in cars, might want to join a car club. And Mr. Duncan might say, oh, I do that. That'll be right up your street, that will. In other words, it's giving the indication that would be easy for you to do, would probably be something you'd really enjoy doing. Yes.
Yes. Something that would be favourable to you. Something that might allow you to use a certain ability, something that you could do. So, yes, something that's right up your street.
And somebody would say that to you if they know you quite well. If they don't know you very well, they wouldn't say that. That would be said by somebody that knows you very well.
Yes.
That's right up your street.
Perfect.
Yes.
Suitable for you. It is right up your street. So there is our first one. We're going to get through these quite quickly. Here's another one. Road and street idioms. Ooh. This is
the road.
Hit the road. This is something we're going to be doing in around about 15 minutes from now.
We're going to hit the road. It means you're leaving.
It means you are getting out of there. You are leaving a place. You are about to go. You are going to hit the road. You are about to go.
You might be at a party.
Yeah, a party.
And you look at your watch and you say to somebody, oh, it's getting late. Let's hit the road.
Time to go.
Time to go. And it gives an indication that you've got a bit of a journey ahead of you as well. But you could say it even if you live down the road. But normally it means you're going to get in a car and drive somewhere.
That's it.
Usually.
That's it.
But not necessarily.
But quite often, well, look, it's getting late. I think we should hit the road because we have a long journey ahead of us.
Yes.
So there we go.
It doesn't mean that you go outside with a hammer and start hitting the tarmac. It doesn't mean that.
No, it refers really to you driving on the road. You are hitting the road and you are moving in a certain
Christelle
direction.
says, like the song, hit the road, Jack.
Can I get to the end of my sentence there?
Sorry, yes, hit
It's
the
okay.
road. Hit the road, Jack. Is that from...
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more,
That's
no
the
more.
one.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more.
So that's suggesting that they want them to leave and not come back.
Hit the road, Jack. Go. Leave.
There we go. So yes.
Okay, is another one. Oh, you might explore new avenues. Avenue. Of course, an avenue is a type of street, a type of road, normally secluded, quite often lined with trees. So you might find that avenues are quite narrow, but also quite often they will have trees along them as you go along. A small road, maybe gaining access to a larger road, or maybe someone's house. There is a little avenue taking you towards a special place. But if you explore new avenues...
Yes. That means you're expanding your interests in some way, and maybe seeking out new hobbies or skills.
Yes, a new venture.
Yes, just as yes. So an avenue really is like a sort of a posh street.
Yes.
If you live on an avenue, then that would give the suggestion that you live in quite a well-to-do, expensive neighbourhood. So if your address has avenue after it, number 2, something avenue.
Something avenue.
Yes, number 2, garden avenues or woodland avenues. If you've got avenues in your address, it would suggest that you live in quite a well-to-do, posh place.
Yeah, okay.
Because, as Mr. Duncan says, there'll be trees lining the road. There'll probably be decorative pavements.
There's a famous place in, I think it's in New York, Fifth Avenue. So Fifth Avenue is where all the high-class shops and businesses are. Fifth Avenue.
And Lewis says Avenue Champs-Élysées.
Ah, yes.
Wide open, big, expansive, very plush, very decorative. It's not just a street. A street could be anywhere. It's an avenue.
The Avenue of the Champions.
Yes.
The victors. Le Champs-Élysées. Ooh.
I didn't know that the Champs-Élysées was an avenue, so thank you for that, Lewis. And hello, Lewis. What does the phrase hit the bricks mean?
I never heard of it.
Never heard of that
Never
one.
heard of hit the bricks. I've heard of hit the sack. You can hit the sack, which means go to bed.
Yes.
You can hit the bottle, which means to start drinking alcohol in large quantities. You can hit the missus. No.
Or the mister.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's bad.
Explore
That's
new
bad.
avenues.
Don't
yes.
hit the missus.
So, if you're exploring new avenues, that phrase means that... it's suggesting that you're going to visit somewhere. But, of course, what you're actually visiting is maybe a new hobby.
Yes.
Or a new circle of friends. Something like that.
Yes. So you are going off in a different direction. You are exploring something or going somewhere to do something you've never done before. You are going to explore new avenues.
Maybe you're sick to death of your existing group of friends and you want to go off and explore new avenues, new places to meet new people.
That might also be fresh fields.
Yes.
Fresh fields.
Yes, fresh fields.
Here's another one. Steve is often what?
Streets ahead.
Mr. Steve is often streets ahead of
I wouldn't
others.
say that.
Well, it depends.
No one has ever described me as being streets ahead of anything.
You're streets ahead in certain things. There must be something. There must be at least one thing you are streets ahead in. Your knowledge of cars.
Oh, yes, I'm streets ahead.
Yes, there you go.
It just means that you know a lot more than other people on whatever subject it is you're talking about.
Yes.
Or you're quicker than them. You've somehow gained an advantage.
That's it.
Over them in some way.
That's a good one.
Let's think of another example. That you could be streets ahead in your appreciation of fashion.
Okay.
For example, you could wear all the best fashionable clothes, and someone could say, "Oh, they're streets ahead with their fashion."
Yes, I suppose so.
Yeah, exactly. Or let's think. I like to give lots of examples.
Ability is a good one, you see. That's the one we tend to use, ability. So
Yes.
you are streets ahead in your ability to do maths. Maybe you are the best in your classroom. So maybe if you are in a class and you are the best one in the class, we could say you are streets ahead of the other students.
Are you streets ahead of your students when it comes to learning English?
Yes, you might be streets ahead with your English practice.
Yes. Of course, obviously, that's suggesting that if you were in a car or walking, you were a long way further than your colleagues.
Here's another one. This is something that we often hit. You hit this when you are going along the road and suddenly you hit
A dead end.
a dead end. Something.
A dead end.
Yes. Now this can be used in many ways. Maybe more ways than you actually realise. So a dead end on the road means a road that you can't pass through. So you come along and suddenly the road ends and
Yes.
you reach a dead end. You can't go any further.
Of course, there would be a signpost at the start of that road to indicate to you that if you drive down there, you'd have to turn around and come back because it was a dead end.
That's it.
It just doesn't go anywhere.
It's going nowhere.
It's usually a T, isn't it? It's usually a dead end is usually like that, a
Yeah.
sign for a road. But yes, so that's what it would mean if we were talking about with a street or a road that goes nowhere. There's probably a big barrier at the end.
Yes, a dead end.
Yes.
You cannot go any further. You have come to the end of the road. It is a dead end. You can't go any further. However, we can describe a job. Maybe your career is boring. Maybe there are no prospects in the future of having a promotion. Maybe your job will never change. For the rest of your life, you will be, I don't know why I'm looking at you when I say this. You will be looking ahead and you will realise that your job will never change. You are in a dead-end job. A dead-end job. It means there are no prospects, no promotions, no increase in your salary, nothing.
For whatever reason. Maybe you've reached the limit of your ability. Maybe there are other people in jobs that you might want to do that have been there for a long time and they're not going to leave. You've got no prospects of advancement in that job. So you become bored and you say, I'm in a dead-end job.
Yes.
And you might decide that you want to leave and explore new avenues.
Yes, that's it. You see, they're connected. Oh, very well done. I like that. Also,
That's why I'm streets ahead of everyone else, Mr. Duncan.
Also, dead end has another use.
Does it?
Yes. If you are trying to come to a decision, or maybe if you are trying to get information about something.
Yes.
Maybe you are investigating a crime. Ooh. But unfortunately, you can't find any clues. You are not doing very well. You are not doing a very good job of investigating that crime. You have come to a dead end.
You're not making any progress.
No.
Whatever it is, you're not. But you can have a project at work, Mr. Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
And,
always. There is always a project at work.
And you can't make any progress in it because you need more information from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe need to go and talk to someone or do something. You can say, I've reached a dead end. I can't go any further with this. I need help.
That's a good one. Yes, a dead end. There is no new information. I can't find any more information. Unfortunately, we have reached a dead end.
Valentina says that in Italy we call it a blind street.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
In French, they call it a cul-de-sac.
that's true.
Cul-de-sac, which literally means bottom of the bag. It's very interesting. That literally is what cul-de-sac means, the bottom of the bag.
We use that phrase here. If you live in a cul-de-sac, it means you live in an area where the road doesn't go all the way through where
That's
the houses are.
Yes.
There is a dead end somewhere.
So your street is a dead end. You cannot pass through. Here's another one, Steve. As we have 5 minutes more. Oh, you might in your life have setbacks, something that causes your plans to fail or stop. You might find yourself being used for a certain period of time by your employer, but then suddenly they decide to get rid of you. They say, I'm sorry, you've done a very good job, but unfortunately we don't need you anymore, so goodbye. You have been kicked to the curb.
Yes.
So when we say curb,
Yes, the implication, the curb, of course, is there. You've got the road. The curb is the edges of the road, the far edges of the road. And of course, if you're driving along and doing very well, you'll be driving along the road quite well. But if something happens in the car and it goes wrong, your car breaks down, it'll have to go over into the curb. You'll have to stop in the curb, which is the far edge of the road. So in this, what you're saying here is that if your job has been kicked to the curb, then it's just like the car breaking down.
Yes.
It's finished. It's had it.
we often use it to describe a person who has been disposed of, quite often in a job or maybe in a relationship, of course. Maybe you are having a very long-term relationship with someone very beautiful and attractive. But then suddenly they find someone new. They find someone even more beautiful and even more attractive. And so you find yourself being kicked to the curb. You are kicked to the side of the road.
Useless.
Yes.
Goodbye, Belarusia, and I send my wishes to you. I hope you're feeling better. Duncan's been telling me about your operation.
I'm glad to see you here today, and also thank you very much for informing me as well of what was happening. I love receiving your messages, by the way. If you want to send messages, you are more than welcome to do so. It is always good to hear from you. Would you like another one, Steve?
Yes, please.
I think we've got time for a couple of more idioms. Road and street idioms.
Kick to the curb, or is it with a K or with a C? With a K, isn't it?
Is it? Have I spelt it with a? Oh wait, I may have spelt it wrong. Have I spelt curb wrong? Oh yes, I think I have. But wait there. Yes. Isn't that
I'm not
strange?
sure.
Well, as far as I'm aware, curb is with a K.
Maybe it can also be spelt with a C. Maybe somebody will look at that up for us.
Maybe I had a day off school when we learned that word, but that's very strange.
Yes, Vanna, it means fired at work.
Yes.
Fired, if you're fired at work, it means you've lost your job.
I have a strange feeling it might be a difference between British and American English, but I would check on that. Thank you for
pointing that out.
It might be a very embarrassing mistake on my part, you see. Ooh. Okay, then here's another one.
In the gutter.
In the gutter.
That's similar to kick to the curb, isn't it? The gutter is, well, we don't use, a gutter is where water drains away.
Yeah, it's normally the very far edge of something where things are disposed of, or maybe an area that isn't used, of course. If you go bowling, if you like to bowl balls at a bowling alley, at the side, of course, where the ball goes off, if you are not very good, quite often your ball will end up in the gutter.
So the gutter is usually, that's where water runs off into. If you've got guttering around your house, that's where the water comes off the roof and goes into the guttering. Guttering in a road is normally by the curb or just before the curb, so the water can flow away. So if you're in the gutter, if you yourself are in the gutter, that means that you are hitting a very bad patch in your life. Maybe you've lost your job. Because, of course, the gutter is where all the waste goes.
Yes.
All the waste water, all the bits of twigs and moss and all sorts of other rubbish go into the gutter, don't they?
Yes, mainly water.
And they go into the drain. So if you're in the gutter, then something's gone wrong with your life because, you've come off the main track
Yes.
in life and you're in the gutter.
You've been kicked to the curb. You are now lying in the gutter. Of course, there is a
Yes.
lovely phrase, I might be lying in the gutter, but I am looking up at the stars.
Here we go. Valentina says, UK is curb with a K, American is curb with a C. That's a relief.
Thank goodness for that. I knew it must have been right, but sometimes when people say that, I often have little heart attacks because I suddenly fear that I've got it wrong, even though I know it must be right. I suddenly lose all of my confidence and I feel like jumping out of the nearest window.
Well, Mr. Duncan, had you got that wrong, we'd have had to kick you to the curb.
I would have been in the gutter.
In the gutter.
I would have been in the gutter, kicked to the curb.
You can say, I feel like I'm in the gutter. If you're having a bad day at work, everything's going wrong, you can say you feel like you're in the gutter.
It's almost
Where all
time.
the rubbish is.
It's almost time for us to go. I think we'll have one more. Here's a good one. So this is one more to do with roads, driving on the roads.
Something I do very often, Mr. Duncan, or used to when I was out and about.
This is something Mr. Steve likes to do when he's driving around in his car. Maybe he likes to drive a little faster than he should. He likes to burn rubber.
If you say you're going to burn rubber, if you're driving, it means that you're going to drive very enthusiastically on the road. You're going to be racing around. You're going to be putting your foot flat to the floor on the accelerator and making your wheels spin so that you get the smoke coming off your wheels.
Yes.
Burn rubber. But of course,
It can also mean leave as well, if you are going to leave in a hurry. So you might depart from a place, but you are doing it very quickly. You will burn rubber. You are leaving very quickly, in a hurry, immediately, without waiting or hesitating. You are going.
but you might not be driving off. You might be just sort of walking off very quickly from somewhere. Or you could be doing a very good job at work and you could be miles ahead of all your colleagues in your sales or something like that. And people say, well, he's on fire, he's burning rubber. On fire. Someone might say you're on fire. You're doing, you're hot, you're really progressing very quickly and very fast ahead of everybody else. You're burning rubber. So it doesn't mean you're literally in a car. You could be in a car, but it could mean that you're just doing very well in something and you're being very efficient and very quick and very fast compared to everybody else.
So we are, in a few moments, we are actually going to burn rubber. It means we are going to drive off at high speed. We are going to leave you for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson, by the way, this live stream. Yes, we are back for October after having our little rest during September. We are both very well. Thank you for your concern. Neither of us has COVID. Nothing like that. We are okay. We can say it, by the way, now, because lots of people are saying it on YouTube. I think YouTube now allows you to say it. So that is no longer a forbidden word.
You know what we didn't do today, Mr. Duncan?
What didn't we do today?
We didn't play the sentence game.
No, but we will be playing the sentence game next Sunday.
Oh, good.
I thought that would cheer you up. So next Sunday, we will be playing the sentence game. But as I said, we have to burn rubber. Don't forget, we are back with our English Addict live stream every Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time. Before I go, can I also say, if you want to make a donation, because everything I do, by the way, is free. 14 years, nearly 14 years I've been doing this, Steve. And there is the address going across the screen right now. So if you want to make a donation to help my work continue, hopefully forever and ever and ever. Feel free to drop a donation. The address is coming across your screen right now. There it is. Beep, 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 beep. We will have a moment's silence. There it is.
Mr. Duncan, I'm going into the kitchen and I'm going to make a cup of tea and a tea cake.
Oh, I can't wait. Now, we have still been having our cups of tea and also tea cake
We have.
on Sunday. But instead, I've been watching Columbo, and Mr. Steve has been busy in the garden.
Very busy.
Very, very busy.
I'm
indeed.
super fit. Well, goodbye, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you all next week and see you in a few minutes in the kitchen.
I will be with you in a few minutes.
Bye-bye.
There is Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve is now about to say goodbye, and he's going to burn some rubber. It's always chaos when Mr. Steve is around. He's gone now. What a great way to end today's live stream. Here we go then. It's time to say goodbye. I have to say ta-ta in a few moments. I hope you've enjoyed this. Yes, we are back. You have noticed that now we are live once again on YouTube every Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time. Don't forget, you can also send a donation as well if you want to help my work continue forever and ever and ever. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks for watching. Thank you very much for your company today. Yes, we will be back next Sunday, every Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. And there will be new lessons popping up on my YouTube channel as well. So it's two things happening: live streams on Sunday and also new lessons as well. And there are some new English lessons on my YouTube channel right now. If you haven't seen them, check them out. That is it. It's almost time to say goodbye. See you, Maria. See you, Beatrice, Christelle, Maria, Zoe, Lil, nice to see you back as well. Valentina, Farah, also Vitas, and not forgetting Luis Mendez. Thank you very much for joining me today. I will see you live next Sunday. Don't forget, next Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time, and I will be back with you. Some surprise lessons coming up as well. Yes, there will be some surprise lessons popping up on my YouTube channel as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Take care. And I will see you all again very soon. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, this is Mr. Duncan, and on behalf of Mr. Steve, saying thanks for watching. It's been fun. It's been interesting. Next Sunday, we will do it all again. Ta-ta for now.